Quick as a flash, the Magister has an arrow notched on his raised bow. He falters. A glimmer of recognition crosses his face, followed a moment later by a wry smile.
My Fort Joy savior! I never thought I'd clap eyes on you again. You always seem to catch me at a low ebb, unfortunately. My troop was slaughtered by Black Ring. I'm the only survivor. What are you doing here?
A skeptical eyebrow arches upwards.
If you know of this island, I can't imagine who would make such a claim. Never mind. There are more important matters at hand. Bishop Alexander and the others might still be out there. I need to find them. Let me stay by your side for now. You can count on my bow in any fights to come.
He slings a quiver of arrows across his back and nods.
Eyes sharp.
You there! Prithee, goodly traveller, might I prevail upon you to answer a question? You see, I am on a mission most grave. I seek a sorcerer most foul, most reviled, most feared. Her name is...
His pincers scissor wildly.
Septa the Ineffable! Have you heard tell of this wicked beast on your travels? Why, I shall slay her with a single thrust of my sword-like claw. For mine is an ancient and noble order, bent on destroying that which would destroy. Septa is a sorcerer, and I am a source hunter. Useful, no doubt. The place is crawling with sorcerers and dark ones, too. None of Septa's conspirators, as far as I can tell. We are very lucky indeed. Oh no. You spoke to her. Face to... whatever you call the odd frontly part of your person. I regret to inform you, you haven't much longer to live then. Now that she has your scent, it won't be long until Septa tracks you here and guts you like a minnow. You have my sympathy. The hunt continues. Imperio, away!
You suddenly hear something in the distance, a strange but familiar tune. Sabine freezes. You recognize it as her Scar song. The Master is near.
A moment, years in the making. Soon I will have my vengeance.
She shakes your hand with a polite nod.
Sing the song when I signal you, and wish me good luck.
I must speak with this man. Please stay close, and keep an eye out for assassins in the shadows. Very good. Now for some answers.
Red Prince, at last we meet, or rather, meet with your awareness of my presence. How often I've stood by you but an arm's length away, a shadow within the shadows, untouchable. Almost like meeting an old friend.
His eyes are black holes in a black-skinned sky. He bows with the deference of a noble among nobles, swinging ever so playfully between sincerity and sarcasm.
I suppose I should start with an apology for the attempts on your life. Talk about getting off on the wrong foot, wouldn't you say?
Failed attempts, remember? Hardly made me break a sweat, those lackeys of yours.
To my astonishment, and, I admit, my admiration. You may find this hard to believe, but given different circumstances, I would have been quite content to let you live. Let you play the Emperor from your golden throne in your golden city. Alas, certain events beyond even my control were set in motion. Ripples became waves. I had to act. And so I arranged for you to meet with an unfortunate self-inflicted end. His libido is legendary. How could he resist? And what better way to organize his demise? But of course I didn't know then he was God-woken, stronger than the demon. It's almost a pity we find ourselves on such opposite sides. All because of who you are, and all because of who she is. It was Sadha who set events in motion, Red Prince. If you were the ripple, she was the wave. She's a tidal wave that will take wing, become a murder of dragons, red as the setting sun, that will alight every corner of this world with the terrible splendor of fire. To make a point, for it is murder they would commit, and it would be murder that would be committed upon them. The simple truth of the matter is that, yes, we lizards were dragons once. The mightiest creatures to rule sky, earth, and sea. But such was the jealousy of our power that all other races united against us and brought us to the brink of extinction. No one knows what happened next. Was it wizardry? Was it Zol Stissa who took mercy on us even then? Suddenly we were dragons no more, lizards instead. And as lizards we flourished and built an empire once more. But the House of Dreams trades in prophecy. They've always known we could be dragons again. For one day a man and a woman will be born, and their skin will be red, and the fruit of their union will be great red dragons.
A day that will come to pass.
Curse your obstinance. Listen to me. I am the House of Shadows. This is my role. I see the great games in motion. Allow them their flux when they advance for good. Cut them short when they advance for evil. Even if that means doing evil. The renaissance of dragons would spell the end of our race, plain and simple. To that end, I needed you to die, but you proved to be all too worthy an opponent. An opponent, I would now see an ally. Ally with me, Red Prince. Find Sadha and kill her. If she births dragons, all other races will unite against us, and this time they will destroy us for good. We were spared last time. The condition of our continued existence was that we'd never let the dragon roar again.
They look each other in the eyes, like two chess players contemplating their next move.
Actually, I think I'll call his bluff. Now then, I'm the Red Prince. Your role in this story is over. I am its sole protagonist. Sadha may indeed be dangerous. I may decide she must die. I may not. But it will be my decision. You're out of options, Master of Shadows. Tell me where she is.
The Shadow Prince stands checkmated, and he knows it.
I truly have no choice, have I? Very well. I must put the fate of all lizards in your hands. But beware. Sadha is ultimately dangerous. Not only will she be the mother of dragons, I fear she's fallen in with an old enemy. Them.
He points to the fallen black ring.
If I'm correct, and Sadha's heart has been darkened by the ring, you may be able to find her through their scrying magic. There's a thing on this island known as the Sallow Man. He is a master of mirrors. Mirrors like his will read your mind and show you what you desire, if you manage to elude or eliminate him. A word of warning, though. He is like a shred of nightmare ripped from the dream realm, set loose in reality. Do not underestimate this creature. Be careful, and become the savior of all lizards, Red Prince. Become the true emperor of your people.
I will be Emperor, yes. Of lizards or dragons, that remains to be seen.
One step, then another, ever closer. You can tell from her bearing, Sibyl has never been so ready to kill, so on the brink of impending action. She's like a cat, all concentrated muscle, that split second before it pounces. Another step, ever closer. The moment has finally come. She's found the master. The eyes of predators meet.
Sabine?
He snaps his fingers, and she involuntarily snaps to attention.
Here you go, breaking my heart.
That's the plan, master mine.
He sighs, sadly.
I don't begrudge you your freedom, Sabine. Your escape relieved me of having to witness your death by your own hand. The inevitable last command. I would have watched you, like I have all this time, glad to see you live, sometimes even laugh. I'm very fond of you, you know.
The feeling's not quite mutual.
Not yet.
Another snap, different fingers, different sound. She looks to the ground. She's bowing before him.
Utter control. The tool of a tyrant, you think? But you're mistaken. Let me indulge you with an explanation. Everything I do for a much greater good. The supreme example of this is you, Sabine. She's the prime scion. It had to be her. The other scions knew and welcomed her. They sought out their own killer. It was all so very elegant. What I did had to be done, Sabine, and I had to be the orchestrator, for I am the House of Shadows. I am the Fate Weaver. I am the hand that guides a blind world.
Sabine slowly draws her needle.
Time to get to the point.
My, you still have the needle I gave you. How very gratifying. A fine instrument, is it not? Precise, exact. Just like me. Just like you. You should know that I forced you to shed the blood of scions because rather than a killer, it transformed you into a savior of untold millions. Here's the final truth, Sabine. The true evil here is not me. It's you. The Mother Tree and her scions do not seek to carve out their own part of peace in this world. They seek to carve out the whole wide world for themselves. They want their roots to conquer every last inch of Rivellon. World domination. The prevalence of one race over all others. That is what they desire. That is what I counteract.
He died the day he met me.
Death, death, death. Did I create a monster after all? I don't begrudge you your freedom, Sabine, but you came looking for me driven by no more than ordinary bloodlust. All you see is red. You've lost sight of all reason. You know how the scar works. You know I have but to sing a single tune. You've no hope whatsoever of defeating your master.
He sings. The scar song swells, 1,000 tiny needles in Sabile's soul, chipping away at her will. She looks at you with hope and defiance, gives the signal. You must sing the song. Your voice harmonizes with the master's. Stunned, he hesitates, and yours becomes the dominant melody. Sabile is free from his influence.
Dear me, you're a miracle worker. I'll take it from here.
The patient cat finally pounces. She strikes, precisely, exactly. Her needle pierces his neck, spears his vocal cords, filling his throat with blood. Checkmated and muted, he staggers back, all a feared fury. This is it. It's time to kill the master.
How may I help you? It feels magnificent, if somewhat unreal. But first things first.
You look on as Sabile bares her arm and drags her needle across the word master, like a knife, drowning the black ink in blood.
As painful as it is delightful, believe me.
She laughs. Her cat eyes dance with mirth.
Now, it's over.
She hugs you back warmly. Next, she takes your hand in hers, meets your eyes in earnest.
I just can't thank you enough. I could never have defeated the Master without you. I owe you everything. But I do, and I won't forget. I am free now.
She places a hand over the wound on her arm.
I've known the opposite too long to want to spend another day hollow with hate, another night hollow with loneliness. I most certainly can, if you show me a little love.
You kiss her on the cheek, and she laughs, full of life. Before you stands a shrine to Amadia, her solemn face carved of ancient stone. This statue of Amadia seems ancient. Moss blooms from cracks all over the stone, and tears of rain stream from her eyes. A hollow space marks the center of her creased brow. You remember that the statue of Amadia in the hollow marshes healed you, but no words from you can rouse this one to response. Whatever powers the gods once had has weakened indeed. You feel a presence awaken within the stone. An ancient awareness reaches out to you, swirling through every cell of your body and every mote of your soul. Lightning flashes and thunder rumbles. Static electricity crackles all around you and dances over your body. Yet you feel no jolt or shock, and it fizzles out as soon as it touches your skin. Then the awareness recedes from you, ebbing back like a tide until you are left completely alone. Alone with your thoughts, alone with the blessing Amadia left you with. A bird flits in the background as you approach the altar. Laying your hand on the weather-beaten stone, you feel a gentle heat. A sense of warmth and peace fills you. As you whisper your words, you feel the world around you melt away. You open your eyes to an old log house, a roaring fire, and a door ajar. Pushing the door open, you find a bedroom, comfortably furnished. In the middle of a bed, wrapped in blankets, is an old, shivering woman.
It is so good of you to come. I'm so proud of what you have accomplished, of the hero you are becoming. You will be at the well soon, but first I must ask you for help.
She leans forward, grey hair falling to frame her wrinkled face, and whispers.
I am so hungry. I need to feed. I need your sauce.
You feel your god tense and lunge, tearing out of your body, through your ribcage, and onwards towards the frail figure. Amadia throws her arms up to defend herself, but invisible blows rain down from all around. She rolls from her bed, tearing the curtain from the window in a panic, revealing a cool moon outside. Your god relents and returns to your body. You can feel it quivering, exhausted, and utterly spent. Of Amadia, you see no sign. The room fades, but Amadia's moon remains, now emblazoned on the altar before you.
Our defenses are breached. Must I kill you now? It would pain me. You are not of the Black Ring. I am relieved. I greet you. I was, Amadia's chosen champion.
She gasps and bows her head in deference.
Forgive me. Please, I hold this boon. It is Amadia's. It should be yours.
A pair of gloves, beaten and worn, but clearly of the highest value, especially to a wizard.
I came to the council to learn to be divine. I failed. I'm not made to be pursued by evil. And that's what it means to be God-woken. Afterwards, I roamed the island, as did all we fallen knights. But my worst fears came true when the Black Ring came. I fled here. I made sure the temple was defended and went to the altar. I prayed to Amadia for help, but she did not answer. I'm not ashamed to say that I hid. There is untold evil in the world, and it has reached the island. It seeks the God-woken who would be divine. I cannot bear it. Go? There is no go. I belong here. I was God-woken, but for all the evil in the world, I would not be divine. I did not search the world for the others of our kind. My place is here. Yours is inside the mountain. Amadia's altar is at the highest point. Climb to the sky and you may find it. But be warned, Amadia rarely answers now. And when she does, she sounds unwell. May she speak to you with love.
She bows her head in deference and allows you to leave. A note flutters out of the waterlogged bicorn the minute you pick it up.
Oh, aye, it's my hat. Fran! Toss her over here if you don't mind. You're damn right I did. Just you wait till you hear what I call my beard. Fran, I missed you, so I did. Let's not part ways again, girl.
With great armoured fists, the Knight of Duna pounds his own helmet rhythmically. The helmet has buckled inwards in places. Rivulets of blood trickle from beneath the visor.
Come, hear my joke. What is it that I guard? Ha! Wrong. I guard nothing. Do you hear me? Nothing! He showed me.
He leans forward. Glimpsed beneath the crumpled helmet is a mangled face and crazed, unblinking eyes.
It's all a joke. There's nothing to guard, only lies. You'll see for yourself once you're dead.
The Knight of Duna's features slacken. He looks almost calm, but the moment passes and his maniacal scowl creeps back.
No more talking, hear me? There's only one way this will end. Lies! No more talk. It's time for blood.
Carved onto the face of the altar is a dedication. In honor of Duna, patron of the dwarves. Long may their mountain halls stand as a testament to him. Hard stone melts into cool water at your touch. Before you stretches a lake, or rather, a mire. The waters are fetid and rotten, the air filled with choking miasma. Through the dense fog, you hear a voice.
Duna, god of dwarves, gasps, "Please, cleanse this place. Let me breathe."
The miasma clears as the power of your blessing skips across the surface. You look down to see your face gazing back at you, reflected in now crystalline water. High above your reflection, the full moon stands vigil. You step back from the altar, the vision fading before you. As you leave, you notice a lunar rune has appeared, carved into the rock. The knight's spirit is altogether more composed than his late corporeal form. His helmet rests in the crook of his arm, revealing an august, dwarven face, creased with worry.
A godwoken? I thank you. Death was the only remedy for what was done to me. But these fiends resurrect those they have use of. Please, consume my spirit. I don't want to come back. I don't want to be their slave. The Black Ring came and sacked the temple. The one that leads them, the sallow man. He cursed me. A curse of madness and terrible visions.
The spirit averts his gaze with a shiver.
I will not say it. It would be blasphemy to even utter the words. The sallow man is a trickster, a deviant. They must have been lies that he concocted. They must be! Good, I thank you. Hopefully that creature's lies will rot alongside him. There's little I can do to help you. It's the altars that have that power. Bow to the altar of Duna, and to those of the others also. If you are worthy, they will show you the way. I was not worthy. I failed the gods twice over now. All I deserve is nothingness. I was not worthy. I betrayed my own nature. I made a pact with a demon, so I would triumph over all others in the council. But the gods saw through my rules, and I was rejected. I begged them to let me serve here on the island to pay penance. They should have cast me into the sea instead. The sallow man proved I am still weak at heart. Please, I failed my duty and let myself be corrupted.
Now I'm just a potential weapon to be used against you. Grant me oblivion. I beg you.
The spirit offers a stoic nod, accepting his fate.
Thank you. Look to the altars for guidance.
You approach an undead, standing proud at the lip of a broken bridge. Understandably fearless of the fatal drop, she gazes into the lava sputtering below. Turning to you, she motions to the black ring corpses at her feet.
Good riddance to bad rubbish, eh? Only thing I like less than black ring are trolls. Godwoken, are you? I thought so. I see it on you like an aura. I see such things, for I am the Watcher. And I seek such things, for I am a seeker. The Meister?
She bats one skeletal hand in a truly derisive fashion. Her crackling laugh sounds like dry leaves whirling in the wind on an autumn night.
The Meister's ragtag band are but a pale imitation of the tradition they sought to revive. I am one of the original Seekers. We swore to be Knights of the Council, Guardians of Godwoken, and Defenders of Divinity. Together, we failed. But still, I try. Alone. Unless... The Knight of Duna has been cursed. Void runs through his veins where source once flowed. I am sworn to protect the Council and all within it. But that same oath renders me unable to lift a blade against him. Release the Knight's good spirit from his corrupted shell, Godwoken. Do this, and I will gift you with the last standard of the original Seekers. If you seek ascension, it could help you greatly in the trials along the way. Why, how marvelous. I knew your Godwoken spirit was strong. Please accept this with my thanks, and the thanks of all those I served alongside. The blessings of the original Seekers upon you.
She hands you a small yet heavy trinket, crafted of tarnished metal. Though cold, it feels comforting to the touch, like a worry stone or a familiar childhood toy. The gem feels both extremely hot and extremely cold, and yet sits comfortably in your hand. Within the crimson crystal, a galaxy of stars seems to twinkle, and beyond the stars lies a strange and wondrous realm. The stars swirl and move, and form a face, the face of an imp.
Looky, looky, looky here! What's red and black and blue all over? Wrongly, 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 wrong! Your eye decides. Your eye! Now, looky, looky, looky here! If you have 3 eyes and take away 1, how many eyes are there? Last chance! How many eyes? Wrongly, 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 wrong! How many eyes are there in all the planes? Countless! Countless eyes! Goodbye!
The imp's face shatters into a billion stars once more. The gem returns to its inert state.
Yes? If this man was to be believed, he was the House of Shadows, which implies said institution exists no longer. I am not of the opinion, however, that this man was to be believed. Was he prince? Maybe. Did he truly work for the good of our empire? Perhaps. He could have been no more than a lowborn, with a taste for drama and deceit. He could be one shadow prince in a legion of thousands. All that matters is, he's dead. No longer can he stand in my way, or pose a threat to Sadher. Which quite calls for a celebratory round of drinks, as far as I'm concerned.
The prince narrows his eyes at you, each one glittering in the light.
So the House of Shadows thinks Sadher a threat. Their shadow prince wants me to kill her, because she will be the mother of dragons. Fire, destruction, the end of the world. What do you think? My thoughts exactly.
How resolved he looks. How royal his bearing.
Or did you think I'd be swayed by that shadow mongrel? His kind, it is all cowardice. They who are scared of what might happen do well to be afraid of what will happen, for they only strengthen the resolve of those they oppose. As for the world's reaction, I will deduce, I will instruct. And so it does not matter how the world reacts. Each eventuality ends with my victory.
The altar before you seems relatively bare. There is no inscription to a god and no offering placed. All you can see is a smear of blood on its surface and a hollow that seems to call for something. You feel an invisible hand grab you by the throat. Cold, unseen lips brush your ear. You can't make out any words, but you understand what you're hearing. Whispered tears, screams in the dark, blood, pain, blood, blood. The hand releases you, and you stagger back, gasping. The altar watches you silently. It's waiting. The spirit of a Magister priestess kneels on the ground, her hands tied behind her back. She flinches as the ghostly sound of tortured screams from nearby catches your ear, and hers. She steals a look upwards at the source of the screams, then looks away again with a shudder. Another ghostly scream intensifies, hitting a peak, then abruptly ends. Panic washes over the Magister's spectral features. He leers at you. You feel his hate, his rage, his blinding thirst for blood, your blood. He reaches into your mind and fails. He has no power now. The power is all yours. He howls in pain and hate and rage and tries to push you away, but he cannot. So he closes his eyes and summons everything. A raging torrent of memories washes through you, so fast you can barely see an image before it's gone. An elven child, the moon, the sun, the void, the dirt, the death in the fog amongst the trees. And at the last, part of the key to the mountain, Ralik, Vrogir, and Zor Stissa worshipping the sun. You gaze into the mirror, and you see a red lizard.
Is that Sadher? I must see her. Step aside, please, and let me look into the mirror. Thank you. Now, let's see what visions this dark glass weaves. I see her. She's in a city. There's a great cathedral. Arcs. She's in the city of Arcs. I recognize the cathedral from paintings in my palace. I know where Sadher is, and once I leave this island, god or no god, I will find her.
Every time, God-woken, why can't I just kill you? It doesn't matter. He'll fetch me like he always has. He won't deny me his glory, his presence, his scent. Has he not simply told you by now? Are you sure you're God-woken? That head of yours is awfully empty for a wannabe divine. Shouldn't you be wise or something?
Holy coyote. The Black Ring's operating from right inside Justinia's court. Their spy's been bending her ear, driving the strife. She ain't just working for her own gain, but for theirs. It's got to be. All it took were a few magic tricks for her to make Justinia's eyes all wide and wandering. But it'll take more than a little hocus-pocus to save Isabel once I wrap my hands round her stinking neck.
You are the Sallow Man, a twisted undead elf, your memories flashing through you like sparks from a blazing fire through smoked air, passing so fast you can barely see an image before it's gone. An elven child, the moon, the sun, the void, the dirt, a death in the fog amongst the trees, the ugly hag in the desert alley whose sight you took, an artifact that powers a lever. You strain to hold on to that one last memory, and at last it comes. Tir-Sendelius, Duna, Xantetza, and Amadia, all worshipping the moon. The sallow blood within the meat was corrupted long before his death. It makes you sick, and then Sallow's memories are gone. Ice-cold water is suddenly thrown in your face, tearing you out of your stupor. The pain makes itself known again, swamping your senses. A pale, misshapen figure looms ahead of you, a glowing tip of red-hot iron in its hand. You hear yourself croak out a plea. Please, I don't know anymore. A guttural voice responds with a wheezing laugh. I know. The iron touches you, so hot that it feels cold. The sound of your own screams fill your ears, while the smell of burning flesh and hair fill your nostrils. The air is thick with heavy flakes of ash. The altar before you seems to radiate heat as you approach. There is a blinding flash, and you are surrounded by flame. It licks your skin, enveloping you, but does not burn. Looking up, you see Zor Stissa sitting on an ember throne, surrounded by faintly glowing stars. Her eyes are mocking and angry, but you can see that her scales are starting to flake and fall.
Weakling! You have wasted my time by coming here. My champion will ascend at the wellspring. No other can overcome trial by flame. There is no challenge, Godwoken. There is only flame. My chosen will overcome.
The lizard slams her fist against her throne, sending embers flying. One of the stars above her ignites, wreathing itself in flame. The flames around you flare, and you're enveloped in an inferno. The fire rips through you, scorching your flesh and burning your clothes. The vision fades, leaving only the blazing fire, a glowing sun emblem on the altar, and the echoing laughter of a malicious god. A saltwater crocodile looks around, seemingly disoriented. It spots you.
Where'd the water go? Why does my head hurt so much? The shore, yes. After a rest.
The crocodile slumps down and closes its eyes.
Ugh.
The spirit of a black-ringed defiler frantically drags something, or someone, backwards with both hands. He glances around for help as he retreats. Something beneath his heel clicks.
Help! Somebody douse the flame! Douse the floor!
A spectral arrow suddenly lodges itself between his eyes with a hollow thwack. His face turns slack and confused before he collapses backwards in a heap. The spirit of a black-ringed witch flails and writhes on the floor, engulfed by ghostly flames. An unseen force hauls her backwards, as if to bring her to safety. The faint sound of an arrow being loosed echoes through the hall. Whatever force has been dragging the witch abruptly stops. She goes limp. The flames consume her. Before you is the spirit of a priestess, an orc priestess. She's an imposing warrior monk, but gripped with terror as she gazes upon something looming over her from across the hall. She staggers back a few steps. An echoing roar fills your ears, rushing water. The priestess turns to flee, but is suddenly blasted off her feet by an immense, unseen force. Kneeling before the altar is the spirit of another orc, a priest. He produces an ornate dagger and slices open the palm of his hand. Around him, the sound of rushing water grows.
Rogier, I am your servant to my last breath.
He daubs the altar with his spectral blood and bows. The roar of water intensifies. He is suddenly swept forward. His skull hits the altar with a crunch. The grim drip, drip, drip of floodwater and the bloated body at your feet make this place feel more like a defiled tomb than a temple. Nevertheless, you approach the altar. Your vision clouds, and you open your eyes to a dark glade. Before you lies a bull, trapped beneath a fallen tree. It stares at you with malevolent eyes. As you watch, it transforms to a bear, claws digging into the earth as it struggles to dislodge the log. You blink, and it turns again. A gorilla now, its vaulted back pushing hard against the wood. After a few more minutes' struggle, it slumps to the ground, defeated, and its contemptuous eyes return to you.
Strength! Give me your vigor!
The god shifts shape again, contorting into a snake. Grimacing, you reach out your hand, and Vrogir sinks his fangs deep into your palm. You feel his curse spreading throughout your body as your strength starts to ebb away. At the same time, the snake grows stronger and starts to pulse with a faint light. You drag your hand back before the very last of your vigor slips away, and you stand hunched over and gasping for breath. The gentle glow within Vrogir grows brighter until you struggle to look at him. The god bursts into yellow flame, searing its way through the log. Vrogir transforms again, standing before you in his true orcish form, before snorting in derision and walking away. The vision slowly fades, and you are back in the temple, the smell of damp death filling your nostrils. You see that a crude sun pictograph has been hacked into the altar's rock. The spirit of another orc stands before you, but this one is formidably armored and extraordinarily angry.
Dogs, skulking vermin, cowards.
He hurls the warhammer away with a final yell, before turning to you with a deep scowl, panting for breath that he no longer needs.
Godwoken, you're here. Did you kill the Black Ring runts who defiled Rogir's temple, who flooded this sacred temple, rather than test me in battle? Good. Heretics deserve only death. This temple was a fortress. My traps made it untouchable, unpassable. That weasel, that sallow man, he responded not with strength, but with soggy cowardice, and made me look the fool. Face me, you milk-livered mouse! The world grew too civilized for us. No plunder, no glory, nothing to make our hearts quicken. My people left you to your cities and farms and soft beds. They went far in search of a place where they could be alive. But I am a knight of Verogir. I stand vigil. I do not know what became of them.
Delorus kneels and rolls over the corpse of a magister. He takes in his comrade's lifeless face for a moment, then bows his head.
Pierced. I'm sorry. Pierced. He was an old friend. He encouraged me to join the Magisters, and I talked him into coming to this island. This wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for me.
Delorus closes Pierced's eyes with his palm, then gets back to his feet.
You're right. Pierced wouldn't want me to wallow. He'd want me to carry on with our mission. Let's get moving.
Eyes closed, the tiger seems to be praying.
I am the last of my hide, my stripe, my streak. All of us but I fell dead in the mist when the two legs had their war. I pray to thee to bring us back, to save us from our end.
She cocks her head to listen to a voice you cannot hear.
If the covenant be in good faith, O black-winged god, and all the forest tigers shall return, then I shall accept your...
She opens her eyes and turns to you.
Or what? Shall you kill me with your fog of death like you did my cousins? This is our only chance to live. You, divine, as if. And even if you were divine, look at what the last one did. Lucian brought nothing but death to the forests. No, your word is worthless.
She closes her eyes. A low growl rises in her throat.
They all shall die, my king, and I shall start.
She stares directly at you and bares her teeth.
With the He-Man.
The ghostly tiger bares her teeth at you, a triumphant glint in her eye.
When the God King brings the forest tigers back, and we rise to rule, you shall be the first to die. For you there shall be no return.